get stuck in that zone. It's important to be introspective, though, and to think about the important questions. I think the reason it's hard. It's hard conceptually to sort of deal with these questions, and that's what makes it easy to ignore them, you know?
Well, mom is the one that have the role to keep on bringing this question to you.
Yeah.
Mom has a role to keep on making sure that you are not forgetting the purpose of life. Okay, mom
Well,
has...
I know from your perspective, it's to escape sort of to rise out of this stage in the sort of within the levels of sort of like the karmic cycle, right? Isn't that kind of is that a good explanation or no?
I'm glad that we started to get into this kind of more serious, spiritual discussions, which is, I think, between you and mom. I hope you raise more questions so that mom can, follow your inquiry, shine some truth into your heart. Because today, mom asked Mr. Shim some questions, right? And
I'm curious what he said. Yeah.
And
with his Christian background,
Mr. Shim said certain things that I think represents a lot of people's current state of mind. Okay. But
Shim did.
Mr. Shim represent quite a lot of people's current understandings of so-called truth, which is totally, I think, in every regard wrong. But many people are not aware of the mistake of that kind of notions,
Uh-huh.
The notions is the following, that we are here to live a happy life on the earth.
Yes, that is a mistaken notion and a very common one. I agree.
Yeah. What Mr. Shim says that, man is the top spirit of everything. And we are here to live good and will live here forever. There is no such thing as wanting to ascend to higher realm because it doesn't exist.
Well, doesn't he believe?
There is no such thing.
Heaven?
No.
And stuff like that.
It's really very interesting because fundamentally, when I look deeper into a lot of Korean people's, even Christians, they really do not care whether there is a heaven. They care more about immediate interest.
That kind of goes against being. That kind of conflicts with Christianity. I mean, that doesn't make sense.
But a lot of modern Christians, they want to go to church to pray to Jesus so that Jesus can give them good job.
Oh, that's a very good
money.
Point. I didn't think about that. Yes, that is true.
And that's the whole purpose of they going to the church.
Yeah.
Most of the religious people, they go for following religion is because they want to escape the trouble of the world, and then they fantasize about the high spirit will be there to give them a hand.
Intervene, yeah. To intervene in some way.
Yeah. So Korean people are particularly bad about that. They all go to temples, Buddhist temples or Christian temples with a hope that their human life will be somehow much better.
Yeah. That's interesting. I didn't know that. Huh?
Yeah. So then when I mentioned to him about elevation of spirit and the return to heavenly kingdom, he laughs at it. He really, in the bottom of his heart, consider that is superstitious. As a matter of fact, to him, he considered the Christians are superstitious too. In his mind, he considered that, we are here as human, and then we're supposed to go live life after life and just be good as a human. That's all there is.
But he's Christian, no?
No, he's not a Christian, sweetheart.
Oh.
He's not a Christian. He follow a moral discipline, the moral book that
What is that? What does that mean?
it is a like someone that lived in the 50s in Korea
Oh,
who
interesting.
enlightened to some truths and wrote a book, and then there were some students following, and then there
Do
was
a lot of Koreans?
not a lot, just a small
Really?
clusters, clusters of people that you know, people don't know them, and they don't talk about their teacher, and it's a secret, almost like a secret in a way within the group kind of thing that they want to share with others, but in every regard it is still maintained within a group.
I've
That-
never even heard of this.
That they
before.
have hierarchies of lineages, and so no, I never heard anything about that either. But
Is this the same group that kind of thinks that Koreans are behind like every important thing in history, or is that a different group?
I don't know whether this has anything to do with this group. I don't think so. But Mr. Shim
Okay.
seems to be one of those
Yeah,
Who-
yeah.
who
exactly.
wants-
I remember you telling me. About
yeah,
this,
who want to think that Korean is behind everything of, you know.
Yeah.
So-
so silly.
Yeah, so that is the, you know, the human sentiment.
Yeah. of
The
course,
human
of course you wanna be
sentiment
proud
when
of
they
our- yeah.
when you are associated with a family, you want your family to be glorified. When you are associated with a
nation.
nation, you want the nation to be glorified.
Of
That is a
course, yeah.
tendency of the, you know, old timers
It's
who,
very natural. It's very
yeah, the
natural.
old timers who actually put their, you know, sentiment to, I think that also has probably a meaning of unification of family and make a nation strong kind of power.
It is
behind
it.
it.
I mean, it's important to be proud. I think a certain amount of pride is important.
I think everything has its use, and it has pros and cons
Yes,
in this
exactly,
world, you know.
exactly.
So mom
I agree.
doesn't put those things down unless that person supposed to cultivate, and that turns into an obstacle in his understanding
Yeah,
of the
if
truth.
it goes too far, the negatives start becoming too prominent. I agree.
I think everything in the human world, sweetheart, can turn into attachment.
Oh yeah, of course. I
Once
agree.
it become attachment, it's hard for the person to improve.
Yeah.
So that's why in the spiritual practice, on the journey of a spiritual practice, you know, it relies upon the person's enlightenment quality to understand, you know, what is the higher truth,
Yeah.
right? It's
Yeah.
step by step, you know, you have elementary level, and then you are upgraded, and then at your a higher level you have a bigger understanding of the truth, and then you are upgraded, something like that.
Yeah.
But regarding the story mom brought you about Angela Chow, I mean, basically on the surface as if it was an accident,
Yeah.
but it was not an accident in every regard, because human destiny, human life,
Mhm.
and the timing of sometimes you live a day and feel very happy for unknown reason. You're very
Yeah.
lighthearted, right? Sometimes for unknown reason, suddenly you feel very uncomfortable.
Mhm.
Sometimes life seems to be go on so easily without any effort. But sometimes even little things you want to obtain, it turns into like as hard as climbing a tall mountain, right?
Yeah.
Agree?
That's true.
Yeah.
I agree.
So in life, you know, you have this invisible world, sweetheart,
Yeah.
that is behind the superficiality of the human world.
Yeah.
And if you do not put your effort to be in touch with bigger reality, bigger truth,
Mhm.
you basically are like sailing on a ship, and your sailing is totally controlled by the wind
Yeah.
outside that drift you left and right, and you just
Yeah.
a drifter. Life forces take over, And that's why I say it's called autopilot,
Yeah, that is a good way of putting it.
right? Now, autopilot is dangerous because if the nature of the wind is blessed by delivering to the shore of happiness and eternal life, then autopilot would be the best.
Yeah.
But if the nature of the wind is for blowing your ship to total destruction, then
you shouldn't.
you should not allow your ship to be on autopilot at all.
Yeah,
Correct?
I agree. Correct.
Okay, so those are all fundamental rationalities about, mom goes through the mind sometimes thinking, how am I going to try to help my children understand the truth that I'm enlightened to? It's not easy to help people to enlighten to truth. As Buddha Sakyamuni tried all his 49 years, very difficult. And Jesus walked on the earth, tried very hard to preach the truth, very difficult, right?
Yeah.
Lao Tzu tried all his effort to try to help the world, but at the end he was barely able to escape from the trouble of the world. And someone who was very good with high morality has a vision that this man has some wisdom. I need to ask him to teach me something. And that's how Lao Tzu left the 5,000 Chinese character called Dao De Jing. Okay.
Yeah.
That was the truth that, leading to the Taoism, right? In the human world. So all the truths, all the great spiritual teachers who once upon a time walked on the earth, just like you and me, sweetheart. Okay.
They at one time did.
They walked on the earth and they were born in the normal human world setting. And Sakyamuni's background was very interesting because he could enjoy all the glory any human being can imagine. But he actually chose to escape from that glory and didn't bring with him anything, including even his pair of shoes he didn't even take. And left behind his beautiful wife and his young son. And walked straight into the woods. He walked into the woods at the time,
The woods, yeah.
He didn't stay in the palace, and he barefoot and walked into woods to join the cultivators of that time. And the cultivators of the time that Sakyamuni was living, they believed in torture themselves.
Yeah, they ate tree bark and stuff.
Yeah,
like
they
that,
try to
right?
starve themselves to wake themselves up, right?
Yeah.
In any case, look at Jesus, right? He awakened to the truth, and he, manifested miracles to convince the people that he has divine power.
Yeah.
And he promises the people who follow him that as long as they have faith in him and follow him and stay with him, and they will be also brought into his heavenly home.
Yeah.
Right? Those are the examples of people who enlighten to some very high truths, but use human language human beings cannot understand. Most human beings cannot understand what they are talking about, right?
No, of course.
Yeah, but do you know what is the truth they enlighten to, sweetheart?
What is the true?
Yeah, what is the truth that these, Buddha, Tao, and the gods, what is the truth they are trying to tell human? Do you know?
You mean you think they all share